with Rotary. Let's
Very good.
hold on, got to respond to that. I have a new project here in Ecuador called Yo Amo Mi Playa Limpia. We're a community core project, one of the first of its kind here in Ecuador, sponsored by Guayaquil Rotario Norte, and working with other Rotary groups here along the coast. And we are partnering up to do a big cleanup on June 17th, not only here in Ecuador, but I'm working with Salvador Rico up in Ukiah. I'm sure you guys all remember and know Salvador Rico. Working with Salvador on a United Nations project called Adopt a River through ESRAG. And Salvador's over in Melbourne, Australia right now, promoting this project. And we've partnered up to create an International Rotary Day of Action for June 17th, third Saturday in June. We'd like to encourage Rotary groups and your group, if it's possible, to join in with Russian Riverkeeper on their third Saturday cleanup in Santa Rosa Creek. Or you can do the Adopt a Highway, which I know you guys have actively been doing. And yeah, that's the short version of what's happening. And I think you guys got me scheduled maybe for half an hour or 20 minutes down the road here, but I'd like to invite everybody to try to participate on June 17th. That's going to be an International Day of Action through Rotary, supporting the Adopt a River project that we're working with United Nations and End Plastic Soup, and of course my buddy Salvador Rico up there in Ukiah.
Well, thank you very much. We'll be there. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, Alicia. Well, come on up. We have an induction.
Thanks, Diana. So here, I should be my kind of way here. Thank you. Okay, so it is my pleasure, and I'm always dressed like this in case you're to induct a member, and it's wonderful that it's not just a new member of our family, but it's a member of our extended Rotary family. And I want to thank Bob for extending the invitation of Rotary to his daughter. He finally wore you down. So many stories. Well, you're going to find out on the app for sure. So Alicia, Elizabeth Schroeder is a born and bred Sebastopolian, having gone to Hanoi High School. That's probably why Marty not here today. Does he have a few stories about you that he can tell? You can save that for later. Went to the JC and currently works in residential care home administration. Now, residential care generally has to do with older folks, and this is a target-rich environment you're in, as they say in Scotland, right? Alicia has 3 daughters, and that would be for your grandchildren. Her great granddad built a lot of houses in town. Here, you probably heard that name. And then somewhere else in the family, there's the Ross, and they probably own. They're probably your landlords over there, right, Ryan? Right. Anyway, so a long history in town and in the area, a long history, hopefully in Rotary. And thank you for joining us. As you know, Rotary, we're very strong locally with well over 130 or so Rotarians in West County. We've been, our club has been around since the late 90s, and of course, Rotary has been here since, well, we used to say groups have been here since 1906, but He's not here to tell those jokes anymore, so, but anyway, Bob's probably been here since almost that long. Not quite. So it's 1.2 million Rotaries worldwide, and for me, it makes me feel as an individual that I can make a difference in the world by leveraging everyone here in the room and in Rotary to do the special thing that we do. So we have a few things for you. We have a certificate of membership that we would like to pass on. We have, and Bob, if you would be so kind as to place that on Alicia's. So that red tag will come off, and it's a fermentation process. They put it on hold. So that red tag will come off after you've done a few things to kind of further get you into the Rotary. So again, I want to thank you for coming along. Bob, I want to thank you for, well, Bob's just feathering his nest for year after next. Yeah. So if anybody else in your family wants to join, they're welcome as well. But if you're all rise, and please follow our news. Please keep going. Three, two, one, and go play. There you go.
All right, David, got a minute for you here. This is pretty exciting.
Well, folks, you remember we have the district grant that supports a family that is living in Rotary Park who came here as refugees from Ukraine. That grant is completed. We supported them for 5.5 months, paying rent and utilities, and that gave the bandwidth for a circle of friends to be able to support others. We brought in a second family who's living here in Sebastopol, and we're providing services to 4 more families. So 6 total Ukrainian refugee families that we are interacting with and supporting. That is thanks to the Rotary Club of Sebastopol, the Rotary Club of Santa Rosa, the Rotary Club of Catati Ronan Park, and the Rotary Club of Rancho Catati that participated in the grant. But in addition, another $7,600 came from Russian River, Healdsburg Sunrise, and individuals. So that has made a really big difference in people's lives, and I'm so grateful, and I know they are, to all of you. Would you like to meet some of these folks, because they're now getting enough English and getting comfort to feel like they can come and interact with people, because they're going to be, I've been promoting it, they're going to be at the concert that is on your table, Stand with Ukraine, with an all-star, all-volunteer cast. Two of the musicians are daughters of a Ukrainian family living in Cloverdale. Tickets are $40. We are a little undersold at this point. We've got capacity for 350, and we have 130 tickets in hand. So we would love it if you could show up on Sunday at the community center, take the flyer, or use the QR code and sign up if you would, please. You can still get tickets at the door, but it's not to know if you're coming. So thank you very much for your generosity in supporting this. You're a wonderful club. Glad to be a part of it.
Thank you, David, for making this all happen. It's great. Okay, just a couple of words about the chart garden. Dan, would you mind saying just a few words? You were really big in this and our club making something great happen for these young people too.
Yeah, so this is the garden over in Santa Rosa near Rivet Bay High School. This is the classroom, and it used to be a paved field with a bit of weedy dirt. But now it's a teaching and learning facility, and this is for special needs students that are in our educational system in the 18 to 22-year range. And so now they can also get some gardening skills and they're getting products from the garden, such as coats and bookmarks and other types of things that they're selling. We're learning entrepreneurial skills. And our club, in cooperation with the Sebastopol Hardware, gave them another picnic bench so that they can sit down and have lunch in the garden and on their school breaks. And also a lot of tools to keep the garden up. So that was a project that a few of us went over and did early in this Rotary year. And the garden just keeps on blossoming and getting better and being more of a community asset as well as a great asset. There's some young people getting an education. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for helping us make things happen for these young people. Okay, happy birthday, Brian. It looks like he's traveling around Spain. He will be back and tell us all about it. Now, we have something very special. Bob? Yeah, come on up. All right, the Polio Plus program, I'm going to turn it over to you.
So in the past, we had recognized people that gave $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation and became Paul Harris Fellows. And there's one step beyond that. If you become a member of the Paul Harris Society, that means you're going to commit to donating $1,000 every year. And up until then, or previously, that was fine for the Total Rotary Foundation, but there was no dedicated process for trying to encourage folks to give more to polio. And as you know, Rotary has been working to end polio for 40 years. And yeah, well, all that changed. And Bob Rogers became the chairman for Polio Plus Society in this district. First of all, we started riding from the Oregon border down to Petaluma and raising money through a couple of bike rides. But then he also decided that, you know, it's time to form the Polio Plus Society. And this is a real part. You know, for the Paul Harris Society, we donate $1,000 a year. For the Polio Plus Society, it's only $100. It's a bargain. It is. Great about it besides. So with that said, 11 members of our club actually signed up and became Paul Harris Society members. It happened just before the pandemic hit and everything was shut down, and we never had a celebration to recognize that. So here we are 2 years later, and we're going to call up those folks that have committed to giving $100 a year or more to the Paul Harris or to the Polio Plus. Wow.
And society.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually, let me just go and correct it a little bit. I didn't come up with Polio Plus Society. A Rotarian in Oregon came up with it in District 5110. And I heard about it and I thought, oh, that sounds pretty neat. I think maybe when I become the district chair, we could do it in all of our clubs. And then they asked me to be the Polio Now coordinator for 13 districts in the Northwest. And I got together with the guy in the Southwest, another 16 districts. We had 30 districts, and we have stolen this program. You heard of Rotary R&D? Rotary rip-off. If it's all for the good cause, it's allowed, and that's what we did. And we've expanded this to now where it has gone worldwide. And we started it here. So, my daughter, Ms. Rogers, asked me just now, how much does it cost? That's a story about it. Yeah. Somebody said, is that your daughter? So, he asked me, how much does it cost now? Those, and that's, if you do $100, of course, you all know that the bill for the Gates Foundation. The 2-to-1 match of that, so you're $100, $300. And, right now, it's only costs 14 cents per dose. However, we have to get it to the children also. That means, how do you get it there? Comes out to $2.40 per vaccination. So that's 125 kids for $100. And it's a pretty big deal. So it is my honor today to follow through on what we didn't do. We did it via Zoom. I want to honor and induct the following Rotarians in the District 5130 Polio Plus Society as charter members because you guys did this during the first year. Please come up as I call your name. David Mark Raymond. Robert Kuiper. Robert, we're going to owe you an apology because we lost your certificate. We'll get you another. Come on, no, you still have. Scott Henry. Bill Sauber. Stay here because you're going to help me. Lori Darling. Okay, Michael McLaughlin and Lisa. Michael Cook. Jerry Meshlam. Dan Needham. Diana Curtis. And Michael Phelps. So you folks, with your annual continued donations, we're sure to win the fight to rid the world once and for all. So we have some wristbands. Like I'm wearing, and it says in polio now, and you can wear this. I'm going to wear mine until polio's gone. Or I'm, yeah, I hope it's a fun. And also a pen that says Polio Plus Society and depicts a child receiving those two precious drops. And of course, certificates that Bill's going to help me pass out. So I have magnetic pens or I have the regular pen. So let me know which you like. So this is going to need some help here, okay?
Okay, we're starting off with Michael McLaughlin.
You want magnetic? Magnetic.
Yeah, I want to start that, sure.
Everybody want me to get it? You guys keep this on here. I need down here.
Michael Cook.
Gary? Not taking the time to pin these on because of course. That would be.
Lori Darling is here today, so I'm gonna give hers to Bob Peter. Well, all right, we'll get.
Where'd the magnet go? Okay. Is that the way you-
President Diana. Scott. Citizen Scott. David Mark Raymond.
I know it's taken a long time to go well, but.
Danny.
Right now, I'm gonna ask the rest of you. Consider joining a polio plus society. And all you have to do is check off them, fill out this form, and then give it to me, or email it to me later. And then the second step, if you go online, you see, or you can give it to the Rotary Foundation, Polio Plus, in the memo section. You give it to Bill, and he'll make sure it gets to the Rotary Foundation. I want to thank you all for your support for Polio Plus, not Polio Plus. We're running a little bit behind this year, but that's the bad news. The good news is we had the same thing last year, but still. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we have our $50 million that each year we commit to trying to raise, because the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will match it, making it 150 million. That represents about 17% of the total budget for fighting polio. So it's pretty important. And so Polio Plus Society is a big attach. You need the microphone back? Grabbing and coming to speak. I'm a fast development. Just wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for coming back here. That's wonderful. Yeah, we need to move on here. So I'm just going to move quickly through. Yeah, we packed a ton of fruit, literally. We went on a fantastically great hike this last Monday. Please join us. It was a lot of fun. And of course, coming up, we got blues, brews, and barbecues. And we also have the Stand With Ukraine. I'm going to skip through announcements, and I'm going to skip through gratitude because we have a presentation to do here. Yeah. Very quickly.
David Mark Raymond was telling you about the district grant and what we did with the Iranian family. The district grant application for this next year is completed by June 30th. We will have up to $3,000 that I would like to contribute. That will be matched by the district, and we'll be able to do the project. With the international, it can be the best. In the past, we have paired up with the Noon Club and combined forces to dump the money that we can spend on the project. We'll be meeting with them on the 12th to discuss various ideas. So if you have ideas for this new plan, please attend the community services meeting on Monday night, or get it to the David Park. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, and there's an opportunity to volunteer again for the Redwood Empire Food Bank at St. Sebastian's tomorrow from 3:30 to 5. They need help with food distribution. And I'll email this out to everyone. And next week we have Alicia Pryor with the Conservation Corps. And today we made it on time. Great, come on up, you guys.
Okay, Eli, one thing, there's only brother had a 50% chance of getting right. That's it. Eli is a successful native. He attended San Jose High School, and then he moved to Sacramento to a BA in history and a teaching credential. And sometimes happened in college. He met a wonderful family. We all got a small town, they got married and moved back. He got a teaching job at the Roseland School District of high school, clerical science and math teacher. And after several years, he moved into an administrative role at Roseland Collegiate Prep. And felt like that's really to do the disaster in 2017 when the campus was largely destroyed during the flood. In 2022, he transitioned from direct education services to the nonprofit sector. He wanted to take on the skills and expertise he learned and apply them in an organization that would similarly aligned work with our approach to purpose from opportunity and pursuit. This led Eli to 10,000 Degrees, where he has the unique opportunity to support high schoolers from all over Sonoma and Napa and County. aside from his professional work, he's deeply involved in the local Jewish community and as board chair for Congregation Shomer Torah as well as Sonoma and the organization. I want to mention too, a year ago, that woman would be here in Sacramento that came and talked to us about the first program at the Responsibility Exchange, which is what was it?
North Bay Construction.
And that's an organization that takes nursery students into careers in trade technical. 10,000 degrees, which Eli is doing, is on the academic side. So it's a pretty cool thing that we got both sides covered. And with that, I did like it.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. The piece I left out of my bio was that I'm also a proud son of Ruben and Pat, who were here watching this morning. So, just like that, my parents. And thank you for the introduction. Yeah, my wife and I kind of cover all of the seniors in Sonoma County with the work that we do, which is really kind of fun. I'm going to talk today about 10,000 Degrees, which is a nonprofit that I've been working for. And we do some really incredible work in Northern California and to share it with you. So, yeah, there's my headshot. All right. So our mission at 10,000 Degrees is to support first generation low-income students through and beyond college. When I say the word college, what I really mean is post-secondary, because college is a really encompassing term, and I want to talk about trade schools, 2-year university and 4-year university for our students. It's a way that we can get students who are thinking about taking an academic or thinking about college actually into these places. And this is the work that we do at 10,000 Degrees. So I mentioned we are based in Northern California. We started off in Marin County about 40 years ago through the Marin Community Foundation, and quickly realized that we needed to be more than just part of the community foundation. And so our CEO, Kim Perdue, created 10,000 Degrees. And from Marin, we have kind of spread north and south up the coast. We're now most recently in Lake County and all the way down to Silicon Valley as well. So our presence is growing as the organization does too, which is really exciting. Some information about us. We've given out last year almost $7 million in scholarship for students in these 8 counties and helped them leverage almost $32 million in free financial aid. And I'll talk a little bit about that. Yes, so like I said, we started in 1981, and over the 40 years we've been around, we've helped students leverage almost $8 million in both scholarship and financial aid. And so what financial aid is, it's maybe you've heard of the program called FAFSA or the California Dream Act. And FAFSA is a program that the federal government runs where you as a high schooler apply with your family, and the government will actually give you money. It's the only time when you will get a grant from the U.S. government and they're not asking you to pay it back. These are not loans. These are gift aid for students to receive an education. If you are an undocumented student and you're lucky to live in California, you also have the California Dream Act. It's different than being a dreamer. What it means that California will pay or help you offset the cost of your education by helping you apply for the California Dream Act, because students are unable to apply for FAFSA because they're not U.S. citizens. So these types of aid are how we're able to help students leverage money to go on to pursue the education they want. All right, what we do. So we have 3 types of programming at 10,000 Degrees. The first is college access. So we work in local high schools, placing what we call fellows at the high schools to support the college and career counselors and the counseling departments and work with students like Charlie mentioned, who I would call furthest from opportunity. First gen, low income, students of color, students who without a human being advocating for them may or may not have the opportunity to attend school. And so we're able to work alongside the students during their senior year to to ensure they have the opportunity and a human being to kind of rely on to help navigate these really complex issues. We also help accessing students with financial aid, like I talked about, FAFSA and California Dream Act. We provide scholarship. And when students receive our scholarship, they're put into our success program. So when they graduate high school, we continue working with them. Our scholarship is renewable for up to 6 years. So it's not a one-time gift of aid, it's a commitment. It is an investment in the students that we see you and we want to support you all the way through your educational journey. So when students are in college, in the junior college, in trade schools, they're again paired with a fellow, a near peer fellow, someone who looks like them, close in age, and is able to help them navigate that increase in college as well. So it's not just help in the high school, it's also help in college. And then we have our career program. So when the students graduate from college, maybe they need help finding a job, getting placed in an internship. And we are here again for students doing that as well. So through and beyond is really a piece of our mission and the work that we do. So how do we do it? We are an equity-based student-centered organization, meaning really unique part of our scholarship, no GPA requirements and no test score requirements. So what that means is that you can be a high schooler who struggled academically, your grades maybe weren't where the rest of your peers were, but you still have a dream, you still have a desire to want to go to school, you want to get your education, you want to go to trade school, whatever it is that you want to do, you want to invest in you. And so just because your GPA wasn't as good as your peers, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to receive a scholarship. And so we see the potential of all students, regardless of the decisions that they may have made. That's one of the really special things about our program. The other part, like I mentioned, is it is renewable for up to 6 years. And we have fellows, and so it's not just money, we're actually giving you a human being to work with. So it goes full wraparound services and support for our friends and opportunity seniors. So who do we support? Like I mentioned, first gen low income. Here's some numbers though. 100% of the students who receive our scholarship are low income. How do we determine that? We use the financial aid documents. When you, as a parent, help your child apply for financial aid, you actually have to submit your taxes. So we're able to see what your income level is for your family, and based on the income level, we're able to support students. 93% of the students we have served are Black, Indigenous, Latinx, and people of color, and 92% of them are the first in their family to attend college. All right, those are a lot of really small numbers. I wasn't sure how this screen was going to be. Year to date, we've served over 12,000 students in those 80 counties. We've graduated almost 3,000 college students. So the name 10,000 degrees was, I think, the initial goal of having 10,000 students receive a bachelor's degree. So we're getting there. And when we get there, we'll have to change things. There's 20,000 degrees or something, I'm not sure, but we're working towards that. The other really special part about our program is the financial literacy aspect that we bring. So college is very, very expensive, prohibitively expensive for many of our students. And the amount of scholarship that we provide isn't enough to cover the complete cost of an education for a student. But what we do is we help them find other scholarships. Rotary, you are all amazing at providing lots and lots and lots of local scholarships all throughout the counties that you serve. And we ask our students all the time, apply for ours, make sure you're applying for a Rotary scholarship as well, and others. And so we're not only showing how do we know that, we want to help students access all the free financial aid that they can receive. The other special piece is that when they're able to do that, they are taking out way less debt than, or incurring less debt than their peers going to school, 55% less debt than their peers. So not only are they able to graduate college sooner, but they're graduating with less burden, so that they can hit the job market and begin earning and begin saving for a home or whatever they want to do in this town, which we all know is. So our fellows. Our fellow program is really, really key because many of our fellows have graduated from our program and are coming back to pay it forward to the next group of students who also receive the support. Our fellowship is a full-time, well-paid position. These are interns, these are people who are recent college grads who are joining the career field and wanting to do something powerful and positive in their work. We are a nonprofit, but we pride ourselves on being able to pay our fellows, you know, a living wage, which is really wonderful. We've had 114 fellows since the fellowship was created in 2012. We currently have 53 fellows, and 33 of them are alum, which is really special. And about half of our staff are fellows. And so again, the fellows are the folks who are working directly with students every day. We have a fellow placed at Laguna High School. She's working with students to make sure that they have opportunities to apply for the school, get a scholarship, get financial aid, and then actually go into school, not just apply, but actually get it and be successful there. So, quick story. This is Luz. Luz Hernandez graduated from LC Allen, and Luz is undocumented. And when Luz was in high school, she didn't think that she was going to be able to go to college because of her documentation status. And Luz was able to work with 10,000 Degrees throughout her high school experience, and actually ended up getting to go to UC Davis. And after getting to go, she went for free because of the amount of financial aid leverage and the amount of scholarships she received. And Luz, once she graduated, said, you know what? I really want to go back and work at 10,000 Degrees because the impact that they had on my life changed the trajectory of my life and the life of my family. And so Luz actually came back, and this year is now a fellow at LC Allen. So she came full circle. She went from the student there, an undocumented student at LC Allen, going to college through 10,000 Degrees and through mostly her own hard work. And then came back after graduating and said, you know what, I want to continue doing this work. And so she is at the high school she graduated from in our community, paying it forward to students, helping them do the same thing that she did. And so, you know, it's a little example of kind of the larger impact that we as an organization are able to have. And it's also really special because many people who are undocumented have a very hard time getting work in the country because of their status. And so she's able to work with us and have a life and be able to support her family, and also give forward to students who look like her and see themselves in her. That's really where the magic comes from the program. Our alumni are changing the world. They're getting involved in all sorts of really interesting, incredible things all throughout California and the United States. Another alum I will highlight is Rocio Mondragon, who's a student of mine when I was a teacher. And Rocio now works for a nonprofit in the Bay Area called Making Waves, doing very similar work, college access work. And so it's the money is nice that students receive, but it's also that one-to-one human being, that relationship that we can build and create with people to help them see and access the future that they want. Really recently, we created a partnership with the Utah Jazz. I'm not a Jazz fan at all. I'm aware you're a fan, but I'm a fan of this. The Jazz reached out to us and said, we want to have a scholarship program in Utah for our first-gen students. Every win that the Utah Jazz have during their regular season, they donate a full ride scholarship to the students. So really incredible. Maybe we think differently than that. So the past 2 years, it had 114 wins, and that amounted to 114 full ride scholarships for Black, Indigenous, Latinx students living in Utah. And so our scholarship can only be accessed if you live in the 8 counties. However, if you live in Utah, the Jazz are also investing in you, which is really, really wonderful. One of the owners of the Jazz, I didn't know this, lives in the Bay Area. And so their family has a connection with 10,000 Degrees and said, we want this to happen. So we facilitate this type of a scholarship as well. We're looking at other types of NBA partnerships as we move forward. They got a lot of money. Wrapping up, we are a highly rated nonprofit throughout the country. We are probably the nation's leading college access and success nonprofit, meaning the work that we do has been recognized throughout the United States as being what is considered a 4-star charity. So just like Rotary, when people give to you all with your nonprofit status, the money that you use is done in the same way we use, which is making sure that the most integrity when spending the money and investing in our students. Our students attend college all over the country. Just because they grew up here and they're receiving scholarships from the 8 counties doesn't mean they have to stay in California. We would love them to. But regardless of where they travel and where they want to go to school, we're going to follow them. Thank goodness for Zoom. I didn't know I'd ever say that, but we're able to connect with our students and have our one-on-one check and continue to support the meeting with them, regardless if they're Harvard, Georgetown, or the SRJC. And I'll end with our vision. Our vision is that we envision a world where students, regardless of race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic background, have a full range of educational opportunities, support, and resources to realize their full potential. I'd love to take the questions.
Well, it's amazing, thank you. And I'm curious, more about your funding. You said you have 53 well-paid scholarships. Wow. And the ongoing work, all the scholarships. I'm curious to know more about that.
So our funding, good question, thank you. Our funding comes from 2 major sources. One is grants. We write a lot of grants with a very active development department that's constantly looking at finding money in all sorts of different places. Community foundations, local Sonoma County Office of Education, have grant money as well. Impact 100. There's lots of places that we're searching. And then the other thing is donors. We have a very large, robust donor base that invests in us and really believes in the work that we do. So we had our annual gala a few weeks ago. We raised over $1 million, which is pretty incredible. Yeah. So, we're based in Marin, and so it's not just leveraging money from just Sonoma County. There's 8 counties, and these 8 counties are some of the richest counties in the United States, probably. And so we're very lucky that we have people who live in Silicon Valley and Marin who are willing to, make a large investment in the work that we do because they recognize the power and the impact that we're able to have on the organization.
Who's your development director?
Who's our development director? Her name's Caroline Silverstein. We have development regional directors all over Sonoma County, or all over the 8 counties that we serve. The regional director for Sonoma and Napa County is Katrine Siapa, and many of you, some of you may know Katrine because she's very involved in lots of local organizations throughout the area.
How many of your students, or recipients, end up in vocational schools?
So how many of our students end up in vocational school? So when I was hired last year and a half ago, we started pivoting to make more of a focus on CTE and career technical education and training. And so one of the things that I've been working on is really finding opportunities at local community colleges for our students to enter trade programs. The one area that we do not invest in are for-profit institutions. So UTI, University of Phoenix, schools that are making money off of your education and off of your finances is not how we want to go to the path. We make sure that if they want to go to barber school, well, you could go to a local barber school that is for-profit, or you could go to Solano Community College with free. And so what we like to do is set the table for students. We're not decision makers. We'll set the table and say, these are all the decisions, these are all the financial ramifications. What's the best choice for you and your family? And really helping walk the families through that. And at the end of the day, they're going to make their own decision. We want them to have all the information in front of them first. So we are focusing more on vocational as it's definitely a need and as it's something that college isn't for everybody. and nor should it be. But we want all students to know that when you graduate high school, that is not the end of your education, that is the beginning of your education, and that can look like many different things.
One more question. So when most of us went to school, it was relatively affordable, at least for myself. Can you give us an idea of what costs are today? I realize that there's a broad cost section, but just to give folks an idea, it's very expensive.
So the average tuition for a freshman is slightly higher because of room and board costs. But we would say that the average tuition for someone not in the dorms at a CSU, so California State University, is between $10,000 and $15,000 a year. The UC is around $30,000 a year. Now you add in an extra 10 to 12, 15,000 for room and board, and we're talking almost $50,000 a year to go to a UC. So prohibitively expensive. And when students are able to access financial aid through FAFSA, the California Dream Act, we're offsetting those costs quite a bit.
Well, thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you. Oh, I'm on, good. Thank you so very much. This was very interesting, and what a worthwhile thing you're doing with your life. This is fantastic. Appreciate it. I have one more little announcement. I passed these around. They are the way you can sign up for the Polio Plus Society. Remember, polio is one plane ride away. This was a scourge in our society at one time. We never thought we'd get rid of it. People ended up crippled for life, or gone, dead, or living in an iron lung at one time. I get choked up about this. So consider joining the Polio Plus Society. It is a very inexpensive way to help the world that Rotary is doing. And thank you, Bob, for bringing this to us. Thank you very much.
And my daughter.
And thank you, Bill, for all you've done to appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to have a drawing. Are we?
Yes. I'm not just up here to bug you on your drawing. I see you're gonna win again this week. So if the pot's a little less this week, I think Diana will have to take it, so I think our odds are pretty good. As you know, red marble, there's a red marble. There goes we always try to have you go to the most honest looking person in the room. And I can't choose between the two, so we'll put it right here, and whoever wants to know. Thank you. And this is me hurrying, the waiting ticket is 214. Got that? 198. At least something.
Do we have the money and we carry it? Okay, well, next week we'll get up for that. I'm not sure how much it is, but it was a pretty big pot, so you'll get reward for that. Wow. All right, well, Starry Lincoln isn't here for a joke. Is there anyone who's something funny to say? We have a joke? Ah, okay. Thank you.
So, this reference to the teachers, I don't know if you have any here, but, a teacher pointed a ruler at a student and said, at the end of this ruler is an idiot. And the student got detention for asking, which one?
Great, thank you. All right. All right, Joe, happy trails.